Hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of our JustNoMil. In today's episode, JNM wants me to clear her debt from selling essential oils, or I won't see my siblings anymore. MIL coming back to stay again. She just left almost 2 months ago. Prior, she was at our place for 3 months. NCMIL showed up to our house unexpectedly. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. JNM wants me to clear her debt from selling essential oils, or I won't see my siblings anymore. Hello, new user here. Feel free to share because I need all the advice I can get. All my friends are just telling me to just give her the money so this drama can end, but it just feels wrong. I'm currently on maternity leave from work, so I'd have to use most of my savings to clear it or use my DH's money to do so. He won't mind or question it because he prefers I use his money instead of my own, but it feels wrong to me. My JNM decided to start selling essential oils early last year, so she quit her job and became independent. My dad still pays for everything. Coincidentally, this was around the time I got married. After selling some of these oils to everyone she knows, she gave up. There are just boxes of essential oils in her garage collecting dust. JNM ordered hundreds of oils and only sold maybe 100. In my culture, it's very normal for parents to be taken care of by their children. In my country of origin, I don't live there. Often when parents reach a certain age, they leave the village and move to the city with their children. I don't mind taking care of my parents, but I wasn't imagining having to pay 6 figures for essential oils. My older brother and I warned her against. I made her watch documentaries and YouTube videos on LM schemes, and she still got herself into one. They want their money and now she's panicking because she'd have to sell her house and that still wouldn't cover it. My older brother works in the government and has 4 kids. He can't offer her much assistance, so it's all up to me. I told her I couldn't pay it because even my savings wouldn't cover it, and JNM told me, "That's why you married rich, isn't it?" And basically told me to use my husband's money or never see my younger siblings again. From this post, I'm sure you can tell JNM is a lot. I always give my siblings a break from her by taking them for the weekend or during their school breaks, which they always thank me for. My dad doesn't really protect my siblings from the verbal and emotional abuse they receive daily. My brother could take our siblings here and there, but not as consistently as I can. So should I just pay off the 6-figure debt, or is there a way I can maneuver this so I can still see my younger siblings? You should. Do not take her deal. That's literally emotional blackmail. Call whichever authority is responsible for the protection of children and provide them with evidence. I suppose it's what I would do, but when your heart's involved, it's a different story. If you give her the money, the precedent is set, and this will never end. She'll demand more money, you'll hesitate, and she'll say, "I guess you don't want to see your siblings anymore. Why are you doing this to them?" You have to stand your ground, or you'll be her piggy bank forever. Make her sell the house to you. You can assure your younger siblings have a home. You aren't completely losing the money you used to bail her out. Your mother gets out of the horrible mess she created by ignoring your advice, but not without consequences. If she doesn't like it, too bad. Next time she'd bloody well better listen to your counsel. If you give in on this and give her the money, she will know she can use your siblings as blackmail every time she wants something. Don't do it. Do not negotiate with terrorists. In America, there's a great children's book called "If You Give a Mouse a Cookie," that is really cute and funny, and it illustrates how if you give the mouse a cookie that it snowballs and they want more and more. Your mother is the emotionally manipulative version of that book. I understand that cultures differ greatly in their expectations, and this also seems an abuse of her power as your mother. Both things can be true. Explain to your mother that you will not be rescuing her from her poor financial decisions, and that your husband's money is not there to clean up her mess. Okay, so wait. You are her limitless free babysitter for weekends and school breaks, and she has convinced you that she is doing you a favor, and then asks you to pay her debts on top? What's next? A magic carpet? I'm not going to tell you what to do, just wanted to point out that this is seriously messed up thinking. You've been manipulated for a very, very long time. Emil coming back to stay again. She just left almost 2 months ago. Prior, she was at our place for 3 months. Hello, I've posted here before about Emil overstaying. Well, she announced that she's coming back. She was at our house for 3 months about 55 days ago, claiming to do his taxes over that span of time and would not leave until I made a huge deal of how long she's been here. She will be here on Friday. I had asked how long she will be staying this time, but no answer. What are some good ways of saying you're allowed to stay 1 week only, without coming off as rude? She is back this time because there is a family birthday that me, BF, and our DD, all have been invited to. She has family in the city also, so needing advice on what to say before she comes. I asked BF if he knew about this, and he said yes. I asked how long, and he said ick. Obviously, I need to take control of this situation since he doesn't care. I'm willing to put my foot down and set boundaries. This may be significant other problems, but I'm dealing with Mill straight on this time. Edit. Put my foot down said she's allowed 1 week no more or else she has to stay with family. She chose to stay with family with exception to coming over to help with paperwork. She will be in town for no longer than a week. I appreciate all of the words of advice and will look back at this post if anything is to come up again. Thank you. Saw you asserted yourself regarding her visit. Good for you. Well done. Now, you need to get into couples therapy with your boyfriend. He's clearly fine with mommy having control over his life. He didn't tell you she was coming back. Why? Because he hoped it'd get to the day of her arrival and surprise you with it? After he knew you were miserable for 3 months earlier in the year? That's so deceitful and terrible to do to anyone, especially your partner and co-parent. Reason for therapy number 2. Why can this adult man not do his own paperwork and taxes? When she comes and does things like taxes or paperwork, he's giving control to his mother. She's got all your monetary information in her back pocket now. And 3 months to do taxes? Please. A chimpanzee could enter data into TurboTax, even if he owns his own business. If he truly cannot do these things himself, he's got to hire a professional to do them. If it takes her 90 days to do an income tax return, she is not a professional. He's got to learn to do adult things for his family. It's called growing up. You two need therapy ASAP to overcome this enmeshment with mama and to get on the same page regarding adulthood. Good luck. Be rude. She's being incredibly rude to you. You can stay until XYZ. Next time you want to visit, you need to ask and we can figure out what works best for me and husband. Not a question, not a suggestion, a firm statement. Hell, that's not even a rude way to say it. Exactly. Emil is already being extremely rude. Your turn, OP. The only thing that works is being direct. Emil, you can stay here the day before the birthday party until the day after. If you want to stay longer, you need to book a hotel. Tell your husband that you aren't going to accept her staying longer than those 3 days. If she does stay longer, you and your daughter will go to a hotel. There's no way to say it without at least feeling rude, and Emil sounds like she needs a dose of it. There are a lot of audacious folks who, when given an inch, they'll take a mile. And they count on getting away with it because it would be rude to say it. Be rude. Set boundaries. You have a BF problem. He allows his mother to do what she wants with no regard to your feelings. He doesn't even tell you about it when he's known for a while. NCMIL showed up to our house unexpectedly. My wife and I are in C with my MIL since November after she crossed my wife's boundary and refused to apologize. We also had a phone call to talk about it, and she said very hurtful things to me and my wife, even though we warned her to stop saying things she can't take back. She said she wouldn't stop because she's been bottling up those emotions, and enough is enough. My wife has explained to her dad that she is not talking to her mom ever again, and her dad refuses to accept that. Emil has texted my wife a few times trying to guilt trip her that she has made her dad cry and to think about what she is creating and that it's a sad life without parents. She also mailed a letter with more guilt tripping, and she said, "I apologize for overreacting," with no other specific details about what she did or that it would never happen again. Anyways, this past Saturday, MIL and FIL made the 2-hour drive to our house and showed up unexpectedly. No phone call or text from wife's dad saying that they are coming. They ring our doorbell and we of course don't answer. So MIL left flowers and another letter on our doorstep. Wife's dad calls and texts her, and my wife of course does not answer. About 3 hours later, my wife texts her dad, "I'm not home. Don't show up unexpected again." And "Dad, you already know that I'm not talking to mom anymore." Her dad didn't reply at all, which is weird because he usually texts back fast when it's anything regarding MIL. The letter MIL left was very short and again only said, "I apologize for overreacting and the hurtful things I said." She also goes on to write, "No one will ever love you the way I do," and that she wants a mother and daughter relationship again. Again, she says nothing about her changing and never doing that again in the future, obviously because we know she's never going to change. She also didn't apologize or acknowledge the lies and hurtful things she said about me. Finally, FIL calls my wife on Monday at 6 p.m. Wife of course doesn't answer again because we know he's most likely very angry. Wife is now very stressed and is fighting the feelings of guilt, but knows she has to stay strong and remain firm on NC with MIL and remain firm with her boundaries. We know they crossed a line showing up to our house uninvited, and we honestly never expected them to do that. Any thoughts or advice? It would be much appreciated. It's a sad life without parents. It can be a fantastic life without parents. I know from experience. I'm so much happier now. Right? It's a great life without parents that can respect and support you. It's a great life without toxic parents with no self-awareness or emotional maturity. Block both MIL and FIL phone numbers. Contact police, either in person or via the non-emergency line, to fill them in about the situation and get ahead of any calls for wellness checks. Consult lawyer for cease and desist letter. Discuss restraining order. Look up extinction burst. MIL is escalating because pushing harder is what toxic people do when pushing don't work. It may get worse before it gets better because backing down and apologizing is not an option she can fathom. The only way is through. Keep doing what you are doing because it is working to protect you. Stay the course. If you need to offset guilt, write it in a letter and burn said letter. It gets it out of the system, but without pouring gas on the fire. Extinction burst came here to say exact this. She needs to cut off her dad too. Big hugs. She needs to block their numbers. Take them off of your friends' list, off of social media, and block them. It's probably best to continue to ignore. Read The Gift of Fear by Gavin de Becker. Any attention you give her is a positive thing. She's going nuts realizing that your wife wasn't messing around with her plan to never speak to her mother again. She's upping the bad behavior. It might be time to call FIL and explain your boundaries to him as well. Hopefully this is an extinction burst. I would ignore it, but get prepared for escalation, cameras, tight security, parking both cars in the garage. How is leaving flowers and an apology letter upping bad behavior? Seems like she's trying to apologize, which is what OP's wife wanted in the first place. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and we will see you in the next video.